Welcome to the Sound Mind Strategy Podcast with your host, Evan.
And Anina Blankenship.
This podcast is aimed to be an in-depth discussion between husband and wife power couple where we take on challenging topics in the mental health and wellness arena.
By trade and training, I'm a licensed clinical social worker, certified professional coactive coach, USA Cycling National Champion, and I love to push my limits both physically and mentally.
As for me, I am currently in a master's program for sport and performance psychology, where I'm also on track to become a certified mental performance consultant. I've also been coaching athletes for the last 5 years, helping them reach their truest potential.
We're both very passionate about athletic performance, mental skills training, spirituality, and we love to take a holistic approach to helping people find harmony in their mind, body, and spirit.
We believe that there's greatness inside of everyone. Our mission and the mission of this podcast is to help you unlock and operate within yours. Hello, everybody. Welcome back or welcome to the Sound Mind Strategies podcast. This is episode number 20. 20, that's a long way. That is a long way.
Yeah.
Like, it feels so cool to have this is be recording 20 episodes. We've been
Agreed.
doing it we did skip 1 week. We had 1 week where we did have to miss, but I mean 21 weeks of doing podcasting together. That
Doesn't seem real.
No, I think we've come a long way. I think we're learning a lot, growing.
Yes.
Still growing, still learning, still have some changes in the works for the podcast, but it's been a fun journey, don't you think?
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Good.
Speaking of 20 weeks, this is so cool. I love that. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I think God works in some really cool ways. I mean, it could be coincidence, whatever, but like, I'm going to go ahead and just say it's him. Like, we were birthing this as you were, pregnant and stuff. So
yeah.
Like, you're 20 weeks along.
Yes,
like,
that's pretty cool.
How you feeling?
Relatively well. Just tired. Really?
Just tired.
A lot. Tired a lot. But, just really working on that. Just getting disrupted a lot in my sleep. So getting up and just stretching or reading a book for a little bit just to help me get back to sleep because I don't want to keep tossing and turning. So I know that's not healthy either to do. So just get up and go to a new room or a new space and allow myself the time to just read, stretch, pray, do something else. And then it normally helps. And then I have to wake up an hour for work.
Yeah. No, it's been good. Like, we've been still, I think this past week, like, we did miss a couple of days. Like, we've been really diligent. You have been, like, even like you have been more than me of saying, hey, are we still riding? Are we still working out? Like we've been riding 2 days a week, going to the gym a couple days a week. And then one day, like, it's just like a free floating day. We'll either take Cooper to the park and let him run around, or we'll do some yoga in the morning or weights or whatever, some light stretching stuff.
Yes.
But it's been awesome. Like, you have been just crushing it. Like, it's so cool to see. Now, this past week, like, missed a couple days. There was one day, like, you almost were late for work.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. You're like, Anina, are you getting up? And I was like,
I was like, hey, are you going to work today?
Yeah. I think the Lord had made it on time.
I mean, you were on time, and that was the fastest I've ever seen you get ready.
I know. I didn't know I could move that fast.
That was cool.
Apparently I can.
Yeah. So just a quick update. Let's do some baby stats
from your dad
week
book.
20. Yeah, this is from We're Pregnant, the first time Dad's pregnancy handbook by Adrian Culp. It's been really fun to read. Just like once a week, you get nice little, anyone new to the podcast, I've been reading it gives you stats every week. It's not a ton. It's like a couple pages worth that you read just once a week. And then we have another one that we read. It's the pregnancy journal. And that's a little daily blurb about what's going on. So this one, the stats says for baby, the baby is almost 10 inches long as a banana. So that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Organs are in place, and they look like tiny versions of the full-size organs. So everything's looking and growing.
Little miniature size.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, let's see if anything sticks out about mom stats.
I like when it's like, Mom
Yeah.
is going to be moody this week.
Yeah. Her belly is rounding,
True.
maybe experiencing swelling, especially in her extremities.
A little bit in the ankles. We noticed that at the gym the other day.
Yeah, and it was only one of them.
It was weird. Yeah, it was one. I was like, okay.
Her energy is good. Yeah, I'd say for the most part.
Some days.
And her heightened sex drive may be continuing.
Dun dun dun.
I don't know. This is really good after that one. Her flatulence and heartburn continue to be issues.
That is funny.
That's so funny.
That is so funny.
Not my wife. Not my wife. She's perfect.
Never happened.
Nope.
I think you take some of that for me too, like at the gym the other day.
Oh my. No.
Anyways, yeah.
Okay, let's fast forward through that.
Yep.
But yeah, everything's going good. Oh, so we are recording this on Sunday, the 15th, and that is my mother's birthday. So, Mom, happy birthday. We love you.
Happy birthday.
And we're sorry that you had to miss coming down this weekend because we have a really big day tomorrow. So it would have been fun to plan a birthday and then kind of get to hang out tomorrow.
Yeah, we got the big ultrasound.
We have the big 3D ultrasound tomorrow, so that one's really cool. So maybe we'll probably put something up on the Instagram page. So there'll probably definitely be them on our personals, but we'll probably throw one up on the SoundMind page, most likely. Yeah. So stay tuned if you want to see that. Some people love them, and some people hate them. It looks too much like an alien. I can't look at those. But
I know, I can't wait. It'll be cool.
Yeah. So happy birthday, Mom. We love you.
Yes.
We're not going to talk about age. She's
yeah. You better just
beautiful
shut that
mom.
down.
Oh yeah, and then this is another thing. I figured, I really wanted to step up my game as a dad, and so I was I'm reading these books, and I'm diving headfirst into all these reviews on baby products, if you pulled Anina and I on baby monitors and strollers and car seats and all this, what's...
I'd be ask Evan.
Yeah, so I've been
he's been on
YouTube and reviews and all this stuff. So I enjoy that kind of stuff. So it's kind of fun. But I was I'm leaving out a major component of dad life. If I'm missing this component, I'm not even close to, you could know about strollers, you could know about high-tech baby gadgets, monitors, and sound machines and all this stuff. But, if your dad joke game isn't on point, are you even a dad?
Good question.
I know. So
you got one for us?
So this is something I want to start doing, just one, because I think if I do more than one, you guys will probably laugh so hard you'll not be able to pay attention for the rest of the podcast. So we'll just do one an episode. Probably only have to suffer through them for a few more weeks. Give me some feedback if you like them or not. But this one I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So Anina, why are skeletons so calm?
I don't know. Why are they?
Because nothing gets under their skin.
Nice.
See, that was a real laugh.
Good.
That was kind of a moderate real laugh. So
I'm just really tired. Okay,
right.
Well, thank you for rolling us off with some giggles.
Yeah, I feel a lot better about my shot as being a successful dad. I feel a lot better now.
Yeah, now you got a new
So if you guys have any good ones, please send them out, because I'm always looking for a new good solid joke to throw down. I need to put them in my repertoire, that way baby B, whenever he starts growing, we got some good jokes.
We got some good jokes. Make him laugh a lot.
Yep. So what's we had an awesome day yesterday. We salvaged the day. So we had this awesome plan. We were going to go, or you want to tell him? Go ahead. What was the plan?
Oh, yeah. We were going to take Cooper to go meet with his sister for their birthday party at the doghouse over in Soulard. So, yeah, it was really fun. I took Cooper.
So just explain what the doghouse is.
Yes, the doghouse is this playground, basically, for dogs to go play together. And there's like a bar and a restaurant there, and they can just like horse around.
But then the
forever.
outside is like a complete dog, run like
Dog
crazy.
yard. Yeah. Yeah.
The
and
AstroTurf, and then they got pools and toys and
yeah,
everything.
they got all of it. But yeah, we were going to do Cooper's birthday party over there. So him and I went to Treats Unleashed, I think it's called.
Yep, Treats
and
Unleashed.
Went to go get like his sister like a little birthday treat, and he got one too, and it was a really good time, and picking out all the stuff. But his sister's parents, one of them was sick, so we weren't able to do the birthday party.
Yeah,
so
that was a bummer.
That was
it
a bummer.
Kind of worked out good because I went on a mountain bike ride with some friends, and we were trying to get stuff figured out right. So we did get there to start the ride a little late. We were about 30 minutes late so we got there about 9:30 instead of 9. But like the birthday party wasn't until 4. I was like, I got all day, I'll be fine. And lo and behold, we were late. I was late getting back, or just 5 minutes to spare basically. So I was late.
Yeah.
But luckily and unfortunately, like they had to cancel, so we had to salvage the evening, right? So we went to Bye Bye Baby and actually had a really successful time there, because we were, I was really stuck on like what car seat and stroller do we get. I had it narrowed down to 3 that I really liked. So they only had 2 of the 3 that we liked, but we finally narrowed it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That was good. So we got some stuff like off the list, and it was nice because
it's added to our registry. We didn't purchase anything yet, but like,
but kind of those like to-dos to like figure out and narrow it down.
Yeah.
We got figured out and got to play with some of the car seats and the strollers, which makes it nice because it's just nice to see how they wheel and how they break down. And so I like that.
I'm really happy with the car seat. It looks pretty cool. And then the stroller thing, like we actually went with a smaller, like just super small, like one.
Yeah.
Because it has the little adapter thing you can throw the car seat on when they're still newborn. And
it's lightweight, and it just...
Yeah, I think it's missing some of the features of the bigger, like the big SUV style strollers.
Right.
But no, we got another cool kind of like...
all-terrain,
more like if you're going to be hitting the parks and that kind of stuff.
Jogging and stuff.
So no, I'm happy. I think we made a good decision. So
we did. We like closed that place down. I was like, dang.
Oh yeah.
They're like cleaning up shop, and we're still like, oh, what's this?
Yep. You got a couple new maternity clothing items.
I got a little outfit. So.
Yeah, it was. I felt really good about it, so it was cool.
It was fun. Yeah, it was a good
time. All right. Without just like making this whole thing about baby, which we could, and that'd be fun. But
right.
Let's dive into
our
topic, the big topic of the day. What do you got for us?
So I have comparison. Dun, dun, dun. So what I call like,
that's a tough one. Like we just had like almost 15 minutes of like just really good lighthearted stuff, and we're gonna dive into something like,
I know, comparison. Roll them sleeves up.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good topic. Like, like you had a really cool little thing that you kind of coined, how you view and what you kind of call comparison.
Yeah, like in my mind, I always consider it and think about it as like a joy sucker, joy killer. It just, at least for me, it robs my joy. It steals my joy when I'm constantly looking at what someone's doing to my left and to my right, instead of staying focused on my path that's been outlined for me.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool. I like that idea. I mean, because it really does do that. Like I've never thought of it that way, but if I look back when I do engage in comparison, like that is exactly what's happening. Like my joy is just being robbed and stripped from me completely.
Yeah, it totally is. And I know it can show up in a lot of our lives in different ways.
Yeah. So let's just run through maybe like the who, what, when, where, why, and how kind of thing of comparison. So I don't know. You want to just take him? I do want to kind of leave that why one just kind of towards the end. I think that's a really important one. But you want to just take one of those and kind of give us a rundown on it?
Yeah. So I'd say like one of the first ones is that I think a lot about is, who does it affect? And I would say it can affect all of us at different stages in our lives. I know there's been seasons for me where it seems like comparison hasn't really like been at the top of my mind. It just seems like I'm just kind of rolling through life, doing what I'm doing, and things are good. But I do notice in different seasons when it comes up is really when I'm trying to do something new or do something different, pushing myself out of my comfort zone. That's when I really start to notice the comparison coming up, because in my mind, I'm not doing it right. They're doing it better than me. I need to step my game up. What's wrong with me? So it really seems to show up for me when, like I said, I'm delving into something new, and it's uncharted territory. It feels scary. I still feel really like uncomfortable and not confident in myself. And so by looking to people from the left to the right, it really hinders me, because I'm looking at them like, wow, they're doing it great. I'm never going to get there. I'm just going to stay down here at the bottom because there's no room for me up there with them, because, whoa, I don't even come close to, being able to talk like them, sound like them, produce content, or be able to coach like them. And so I just stay really, really small. And as we know, I'm 5 foot, so I can't get much smaller. I mean, I can, but.
Well, no, that's a really good thing that you bring up. I mean, like, these are all things that initially start out within us, right? Like that spark of curiosity of like, I want to do this. I want to run a 5K. I want to lose weight. I want to be a coach. I want to be an athlete. I want to start a business. Mm-hmm. These are all things that, like, especially in the ones of like I want to start a business. I want to perform athletically. I want to do something, it's kind of going to be within the public's eye, and like the people closest to you are going to see it. And then you have all the new people. And then you have, this is for me. So in the comparison world, I like with this, starting a business, starting a podcast, being an athlete, you always check and gauge yourself, not you. I need to rephrase that I statements. So right. I check in and compare myself against those that have been in the game for a long time, those that have been in that arena for a while, like the front runners, the pinnacle people, right? Mm-hmm. Like, well, how are the best podcasters doing it? What do theirs sound like? What are they doing? What's their setup? And then, or how fast are they going? Like in terms of athletics, like, well, how fast are they doing? What are they riding? Like, what do they eat? Like what all these little things.
It's like overwhelming. It sounds like it's very overwhelming.
Yeah. Instead of just like making your own mistakes, and ultimately, like from everyone that we listen to and everyone that we've talked to in our own personal experience, you just learn much faster by actually making the mistakes and going that route versus like laying things out. Like if someone just says, follow this trajectory, and you have no errors along the way, like I don't know that you're really challenged to the point of like being your absolute best, Yeah. That's kind of how I view it. Like, I think that we each need to experience, there is coming along inside and using the wisdom of others that have gone before you, but then there is the like kind of the blazing your own path. Like, I don't know, like I think there needs to be a merge of those two. I think cut out the things that you can cut out, but like you kind of got to blaze some of your own path. And like, if you're starting a business, you want it to be yours, right, and not a carbon copy of someone else's.
Yeah, that's true.
Because at that point, like, why is yours relevant?
Yeah.
If it's going to be a carbon copy, what do you offer that I can't get from the one that's already established?
Oh, that's very true. I know I'll never forget, like one of my friends shared with me once, and it just really hit me. She's like, Anina, like, why are there like 50, 100 million different pizza places? And she's like, because not everybody likes this one. Some people like this one, some people like that one. So it's like, there's something different that each one of them offers. Yeah. And I was like, I never thought about that. There is a ton of pizza places, and a lot of them are in business still. I mean, they're still running and thriving. So it's like, what is it? And it's like, oh yeah, there's room for all of us at the top. We can all be there, and we all have something different that we bring.
They all
the
have their
table.
little niche,
They
and
do.
they all have the people that they serve. If people want high-end gourmet pizza, if people want
Yeah.
super cheap pizza, if people want thicker crust, thinner crust, extra this, extra that, like that's, yeah,
I know. So
that's a good point. Like, no, we can all make it. Like, you do you, and you serve your people,
exactly.
And
Exactly.
and just like that pizza analogy, like, like I can like pizza from more than one place too.
True.
I can utilize services from more than one coach, or I can have two coaches, or I can have a mentor in this area of my life and have a coach. I can have athletic coach. I can have a mindset coach. I can have a lot of these things. So
Very true. Very true.
and you are relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and it makes me think too, just about, and I know we were talking about this earlier, just that, we all do have different giftings and talents and abilities.
Oh,
and and when we're trying to be like somebody else giftings and talents, it's like that's where they really thrive and grow in. But that may not be my gifting and talent. So when I'm trying to fill the shoes of somebody else that aren't meant for me to fill, it's like I'm starving a whole world, a certain population of what I can bring to them because I'm trying to be like somebody else.
Yeah, that's very important. Especially, I think like in this industry, I think if we just kind of look at it as like us being in the service industry, we're providing a service to people. And, these people have needs and have areas in their life that they need uncovered, right? That there are like these gems that are just covered up by mess. And it's not necessarily that we're going to provide, the right magic and the right, steps to follow. It's not about that. It's empowering these people to uncover their own mess and find their own path and find their own ways. It's just like we have some giftings and trainings that help allow that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't engage in that, and if we don't put ourselves out there and make ourselves vulnerable and compare ourselves to other coaches and just like stay small, then some of these people are not going to have the opportunity to walk in their fulfillment. And to me, that's more troubling, knowing that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing because I'm just so intimidated by, the big coaches of the world, or, oh, they won't find me relevant. They won't find what I have to say, impactful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's this withholding, right? From people that could really use what we have, that could really benefit from what we bring to the table.
So that's a really cool way to look at it, because not only are we, hurting our own selves and, robbing our joy, and, our mood is affected, everything's affected at that point, but we are also, affecting other people, people that we haven't met yet, people that we do know that we should be engaging with and talking about coaching or working with as clients or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And I know something that kind of helped me one time that our coach actually had us do.
Yeah.
Which was really helpful, was he had me write down like I think it was like 5 people that I really looked up to or really admired, and kind of framed it around that instead of like me comparing myself to them, but just people that like maybe I did really compare myself to, but to write down their names, and then to write down what are the attributes that like I really like about those people. And so then I wrote that down. And then, so I wrote that by their name, which was really helpful because I was like, oh yeah, this is something that I really see that I like in this person over here. So after I did that, then I looked at it, he had me look at it and just say, okay, Nina, so what qualities of those people that you put down there do you feel like you have? And so then I circled the ones I felt like I had, which really did not feel like many, but I was like, it's all right. And then had me look at the qualities that I did not circle, and then just get really curious about it. Like, okay, you noted that you liked this about this person and you don't feel like it's something that you have. Maybe go up to that person and just ask them like, hey, I've really noticed this about you. And I think it's such a great like quality or attribute of yours. I'm just curious, like, how did you get to being like that? Has that always been how you are? Or just like really getting curious about finding out, maybe why they're like that or how they came about being like that. And that, I don't know, for some reason, it just really helped me break that barrier of feeling like I had to like compare myself to these qualities that they had. So I guess it's opened the door for me to get curious and find out like, how did they arrive at this? Like I do like that quality of yours and would like more of that in my life. How can I get that? Does that make sense?
No, that's really cool. That's an awesome way to think about it because one, a couple things here. Like you identify things the qualities that you like in a person. So one, you're already putting it in a positive frame set, right?
Yes.
Like I just really like that quality about you versus like I see this quality in you. So it's based around the same person, same quality, and it's based in like a positive frame set of like, I'm so thankful that you have that. I would like to learn from that versus an attitude of lack of like, oh, you have that. That means I can't have that.
Exactly.
Like, that's kind of like saying like the people who want to lose weight and they're like, oh, that person's so skinny. It's like, oh, so they're skinny. That means you cannot be. Like
exactly.
There's only one person can be skinny. It's like, no, we can all possess these traits and qualities. And then you have to flip the script of like, okay, I don't want or need all the qualities.
Exactly.
Like there are some that I would like to add. And then the ones that I do have, like, why not just get really good at those?
Exactly. Let me perfect those.
Yeah. Like win with your strengths. And then you can work on the weaknesses and like add some things, Yeah. There's some things that we should add, obviously, but
I agree. And it makes me always think like there are people in our lives for a reason. Like I feel like they're placed there for a reason, maybe they have this different skill set, have these different things that you can really learn from and really grow as a person.
Yeah.
And so, I think that really helped me instead of looking at like, woe is me, I don't have this, I want this, boo-hoo. It was like, that's so cool you have that. Like, how can I get some of that? Like, I would love a little bit of the sprinkle of that in my life, because I think it's really cool. So that was really helpful for me and it was neat. So if you're out there, you may,
well, this just reminds me of a quick little story. You said, I think a couple weeks ago, maybe, but you were talking with another, like a coworker, maybe that also pregnant, and you guys were comparing like,
oh my gosh,
baby bumps, and you're like, oh, I want yours, and no, I want yours. Mine looks like this, and mine looks like that.
I was like, mine looks like a beer belly, and she's like, Anina, but yours is more distributed. I want yours. Mine looks like this big lump that gets in the way.
Yeah, she thought hers looked like a big old basketball, and you thought yours looked like a beer belly. You both wanted each other's baby bumps, and it's just like...
It was kind of like in fun, but it was still kind of funny.
No, exactly, but it was just like, I don't want mine, I want yours, and then she's like, no, I want the one that you don't want. And it's like, you both can't flip it anyway, but...
No. So true.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. But really, I wanted to kind of touch on like, maybe what are some of the things that, like maybe why is it that we are getting caught up in comparison? I think we've talked about like what comparison is. That's kind of self-explanatory a little bit, but like kind of like at the root of what it is, we kind of talked about like who it happens to. So like, I think anyone, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we didn't really talk about like when.
Well, I know I just shared like when, for me anyways, it's more like when I'm trying to, I'm doing something new. Like when coaching was new to me or doing this podcast, like that's how it showed up for me. But you didn't, do you want to share how it showed up how it shows up for you? When it shows up for you? Yeah.
So the win is, I think exactly like what you said. For me, it's embarking on something new. Actually, and sometimes it is on something old, like anything that has importance to me and that has value that I want to add in my life, something that's important. And if I look ahead at those, if I look to those that are maybe really excelling in that arena, it's, it makes me have that feeling of lack and make that feeling of just kind of like I compare myself against like the best of the best in the arena and like, well, what am I missing? What am I doing wrong?
Mm-hmm.
So that's win. It's when I think more than win in like timeline, it's win mindset. When I don't feel good about myself, when I don't feel adequate, right? When I don't, and when I'm not acting in the ways like if it's athletically, it's like, well, when I get on the scale and it's a few pounds heavier than what it should be. So then now I'm not doing things right, or I'm not going to be strong enough, or I'm not going to be able to do certain things, or, when you don't get contacted by someone, like, or when someone doesn't, when you engage in like coaching and stuff and like, hey, you want to be a client, and they say no. Right.
Yeah.
And there could be a whole myriad of reasons like why they don't want to. I mean, it could be, we don't need to go into all of them, but like there's a ton of reasons why someone might say no to a service. Like,
exactly.
Just like we said with all the pizza places, like, well, I don't want to go here because I want to go to this pizza place. Doesn't mean they don't like pizza. Like, I should just be happy that they want service.
Exactly. Right.
But then it does kind of play on you, like, well,
what did I do? What's wrong with me?
Yeah, what I do wrong, and it wasn't maybe what I did wrong. Maybe it's just that personality type. So maybe it wouldn't have been a good, even if they would have said yes. Like maybe, like weeks later into the coaching, like maybe I would have not liked it. Like,
true,
it would have drug on. Like we just aren't connecting well. Like it just feels like pulling teeth. So
sometimes it's gonna be like
okay
blessings.
With that, yeah. So I just that's the win. Like when I'm not really feeling adequate. Yeah,
it's like you're still like in this new skill set. You're still learning things, and it's like you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's just like like I'm still haven't arrived. I'm not there yet. And good news is you're never gonna arrive. Or you may think you have, but I think that's when we really stop learning and growing. But yeah. So that's good.
I think every area, like we went, like kind of like what we were talking, went that mountain bike ride yesterday, and there's always someone better than you. Like,
right.
For me, I'm very rarely like the best one in a group at anything. I've kind of always had this like I'm good enough and pretty good, kind of at the front of the pack, but maybe not at the very front. Like, but like I just felt really good. Like I had a breakthrough ride for me on the mountain bike. Like it's not a discipline I do a lot, but I really felt good. I was flowing really well, and I really felt like in the zone, but then I was also made other mistakes and stuff like that. But then to watch, one of the guys that we were with, like he was just so smooth and just so good. And like, he'd ride things that I would not even fathom riding, like not a chance. But I still was able to just sit back, have fun, be present, and just like really be excited about my growth and my experience. So
I think that's the point there, to be able to get to that point where you're not sitting there stewing like, dang, they're so much better than me. I totally suck.
Yeah, I should just not even do this.
Like, why am I even here?
It's like, because I'm having a lot of fun.
Right.
I'm out with friends, having a lot of fun. I'm getting better because he's so good, and I'm being able to like follow his lines a little bit more. Each time I can stay with him a little longer and ride over something a little bit more challenging than I did last time.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. Like in my coaching, like in the podcast, like everything just grows on itself. Like I'm growing because I'm not comparing with like the people that have been out there forever. I think there is some comparison that is actually quite good. It's to compare myself against my previous version, or when I did this last, to say, no, I do kind of almost demand that I get better each time.
Right.
Like I think demand might be the wrong word there, but like, you put this out there, like I should be progressing each time. I should not be, if I'm the same as I was at week 1 and week 20, I need to maybe look around a little bit and maybe change the way I approach this. If I'm still coaching the same way, in 5 years as the way I did in the first year, there maybe isn't enough growth there. You know?
It's like you need more tools for your tool belt kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe you need to do some soul searching, some assessment on like, why are you doing this? Like, why haven't you grown? Why haven't you changed?
Right. Really uncover a lot. It's scary. It's new. It's
Yep.
So many emotions.
I think there is some positive comparison. I think like when you can direct it inward, and there is a little bit of positive comparison, even directed outward. To learn, like just like we're saying, like you took those attributes that you like from people. Same way, like if take the best podcasters, the best coaches, the best athletes, if they're in your vein, you know, like learn from them, but don't compare yourself to them. Like what makes them so good, you know, like, and that's okay. Identify those key things and like, how can I implement that, and how can I make that mine? You know, how can I put my spin on that? How can I put my brand on that?
Very true.
You know, not just like rebrand their thing, but like really make it yours and understand, like uncover things.
Yeah, I like that. I think that can be a really helpful way to look at it, that not all comparison's bad. You know,
I think if
it can be helpful.
Used properly, it can be helpful.
Yeah, I agree. It's another good way to look at it. And then were you going to go into the why next? Like kind of.
Yeah. So I think why we get caught up in comparison, like we just mentioned, those positive ones, that's because we want growth. Like we understand the need of understanding. I think some of that comparison can be down to like research almost. Like I'm just understanding what it is that I'm doing versus what it is that they're doing, that I can get better and grow and make my business, life, whatever it is that I'm offering, whatever I'm comparing against, better, right?
Yeah, and I think too, like sometimes the why is just like you've mentioned earlier, is just like feeling inadequate. I'm not there yet. I'm not where I want to be, and that can really keep us feeling stuck, instead of like this growth mindset of where I want to be and where I want to go, and looking for those new opportunities to like help enrich our skill.
I think just that positive flip on it is definitely the minority of the cases of comparison. Yeah, so I think you want to you dive into so the rest of them are all inward, right? So it's not being good enough, not being smart enough, not being wealthy enough, not being strong enough, not being talented enough. Like fill in the blank for you. Like, I wrote, like, to be honest, just to be vulnerable and open, like those were some of the things that I wrote down in an old session, coach session with our coach, of like, what are some of the inadequacies and what are some of the things that I feel inward of why I get caught up in comparison. And that's just it. Like when you compare yourself to other people, like, oh, they're just so much smarter. They're so much better at what they do. You know, they're more talented. They just have and then they also work harder, and then they're smarter, you know, all these things. Yeah, they really kind of weigh on you if you just spend so much time in that.
They do. They do. And it's like having to really be so intentional about like flipping that and looking at it like in a positive way, because our brain, you know, once it gets stuck, I think a lot of times in that negative framework, because it's comfortable, it's easy, I've always been here, and then it just keeps me, I don't know, sometimes when you complain about things or just feel like stuck, it kind of justifies, well, that's probably why I'm not moving forward. But it's like, I don't know, I almost feel like it's a mechanism used to keep you stuck.
Oh,
and
big
when you
time.
can look at it in a positive way, it's like, ooh, now I can actually get some momentum.
Because when you're engaged in that, like, what's the first thing you want to do? You want to just jump right in and start building that business, right? Of course not. Like,
No.
Like, oh, I'm not smart enough. I'm not talented enough. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough money to buy the right equipment. It's all down to this and that. And, you know, like, oh, they're already at the bet. Like, what am I going to offer this field? You know, they already have these people that are just crushing it. Why am I even coming into the arena?
Exactly.
So yeah, action is not the first thing that you want to go do. Like, just like you said, it's like you want to shrink up, get small, quit, stop.
Yeah.
Like, so there's a complete stoppage of forward movement, which for no forward movement, there's no progress, there's no progression, there's
no growth.
no growth.
Yeah, you're stagnant. There's nothing. Yeah, it's like a weed. You just grow into this ugly weed.
Yeah, so I think we've touched on a lot, like kind of what comparison is, like when we engage in it, kind of like how it starts showing up, what it kind of looks like, and then really those things, those that we just touched on, I think are like the root causes, right? Those are all some inward things that we really have to start working on. But just to kind of flip this, like, how do we get past it? Like, we know this isn't a good thing. Will we ever
get rid of it?
Yeah. Like, how do we get rid of it? And then you asked a really good question. We were writing notes for this, and like we wrote that, like we wanted to ask this question, or get to this point of like, how do we get rid of it? And then you said, can we ever get rid of it?
Yeah, will we actually ever
That's an awesome question. You asked it, but just like we kind of learned, like, okay, answer your question. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, when I asked myself this, Anina, will you actually ever get rid of it? I don't think I will. And to explain, it's like I feel like there will always be little strands of it, of where I do compare, and maybe it is in a like kind of a self-defeating kind of negative way for myself, but I do see the possibility of it not keeping me immobile, not keeping me stuck like it has for so long, like it has in the past. So I do see it being there very minusculely, but I don't see it ruling my life and taking over like it has in a lot of areas. I see this is how I kind of see it, me acknowledging it. Yep, I could totally go there right now, but guess what? I'm not. I'm going to look at the things, I'm going to flip it, where I'm going to look at the things that I do like about them and how I can have maybe more of that for myself, because it's something that I genuinely, do want. So I think that kind of like the whole battlefield of the mind, like I think it's going to be there maybe in the background, trying to like lure me back into my thoughts, trying to lure me back into that negative space. But I know each time that I don't just let that thought sit there, and the more I combat it and really face it head on, I'm going to get stronger and get stronger and get stronger in that area. So yeah, it's like I almost feel like it can be there, but then I feel like it can be helpful too. Like we talked about how when we're looking at these attributes of other people that we do admire and like, just learning and leaning into them and asking them how they got there. Right. So almost like flipping it to where I feel like it's a positive thing for us. Yeah. For myself.
How do we train ourselves to do that? Like, I really like your answer there. That was really good. Because it really reminded me of like a mindfulness practice, right? So it's not about thinking about nothing. It's not clearing our mind from thought. It's noticing that we're thinking.
Right.
Noting that we're thinking. Or I'm feeling something, or I'm thinking something, and just noting that and just allowing that thought to then move on. So it's not getting caught up in it. So it's developing a practice, because that is the practice to say, if it took me all day to catch that, and then I start practicing that to be aware of it. Mm-hmm. And then now it's only taking me like an hour to notice, like, man, I feel gross inside. I feel like my joy is being robbed. I'm really spending a lot of time thinking on this person and why they're so much better than me.
Right.
Like, to flip it and just say, okay, yeah, what are the attributes I really like? Just like you said, to flip that and like turn it into a positive comparison. And then also, like, what are some of the other things that we can do? So one, develop a mindfulness practice. I think that's huge. Like, it really gives us, it's not a magic bullet, but what it does is give us and trains us in the ability to notice when we're caught up in something.
Exactly.
So it's a skill set. It's not woo-woo, in my opinion. I've loved my time and my practice. And that's what it does. It allows me to notice when I'm caught up in something, when I'm engaged in deep thought, positive and negative, and to be able to take note of that. Like, man, you are really just tripping out on this comparison, like knock it off. Or, hey, let's flip that. Let's make it a thing. Like, it's to then not cast judgment on myself about it.
Exactly. That's the huge
But it's
piece.
just to notice it, like, okay, all right, it's time to start doing something different.
Right. Because when we beat and berate ourselves up, it's like it just leaves us feeling even worse.
Exactly.
So I like that, like the no judgment, like you said.
Yeah,
Just get that out of there.
Develop a mindfulness practice. If you have any questions about that or kind of what Anina and I do, just let us know. Please reach out. Like, we have some apps that we do and some favorite things that we like to do. So
yeah.
If mindfulness is something that you're interested in, we'd love to talk to you about it. Like, we definitely enjoy making it a part of our daily life. It's been very beneficial for me personally. Would you say so?
Yeah, it has been. It's been really good. And it's, I do it at work a lot too with
it doesn't have to be these
I work with.
long hour-long meditation sessions. I mean, you literally can have just a couple minute, just gathering, and I like those. Like, I like to start my day with a little longer one, not even super long. I do like 10, 15 minutes. But then to have those like couple minute ones, like when stuff's really stressed out, sometimes I'll just I need to head to the bathroom, get some quiet time, do a little mindfulness, just do some breathing and just.
Exactly.
Get
Sometimes
there.
just being aware of your breath. Am I holding my breath right now? Are my hands tight? My shoulders in my ears?
Little body awareness. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing I thought, in how do we get rid of it? Is it even possible? Is just be more active about spending time thinking on the things that you want. What is the business I'm growing looks like? And I like saying it like that, like I'm actively growing this business. What does the business owner look like? What does the business owner of Sound Mind Strategies look like? How do they walk? How do they engage strangers, in the store? How do they engage others? How do they engage people that they know? How do they make it a part of their daily life?
Yeah, I agree. And like, it makes me, when you just said like, how do people engage, strangers and how do they go about that? You had, when we were going out to IKEA the other day, it was so cool because share what you kind of had us do before we went out.
So like we're walking in there, like, we're just taking this thing like full force, like I'm expecting people to reach out to me. Like I'm just expecting, everywhere I go now, I am expecting people to engage and want to engage with us, like, about what we do, what it is that we do. Like, I'm just so expectant everywhere I go, strangers, people we know, like, hey, I want to talk to you about that. Like, what do you do? I don't even know you, but I just feel compelled to talk to you. Or, so it was so awesome. Like, we actually didn't end up talking to anyone about that, but what did we find? We found ourselves being more engaging with people, being helpful, answering questions when people would just like look, like
it was just weird. Like random people, just kind of like the lady was like, "Hey, is this how you get in here? And what's here and what's that?" And it's just, it just like almost opened us up to just being able to like have good quality conversations with people that we didn't even know.
Did that bring on a conversation about our business? No, but what it did was put us in the right frame of mind that like every single person is someone that we need to engage, could be someone that we need to engage with, and could be someone that we change their life, they change our life,
exactly.
Like I'm just expectant, and I think that that's a way better way to go about it because I know what we have is valuable. I know that what we do is valuable and important, and just makes me feel a lot better about it versus like, oh, they're not going to want to hear about anything from me.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like we went out expecting, which was really cool and exciting.
You walk taller, you walk more upright, you look vibrant,
I was like practically in high heels. I was walking so tall.
Oh gosh. We need mom jokes.
I know. I need mom jokes. I can make some up. No. But yeah, it was good because then we went to Bye Bye Baby last night and we did the same thing. Like we talked about that before we went in the store and it just felt like conversations flowed really well with people. We had fun. It was just like with this expectant attitude of just getting out there to meet new people and just let them, like you said, let them have an impact in our lives and vice versa. Like, it's a really cool, fun way to.
I mean, that's what this business is. I mean, like coaching is about people.
Yes.
It is a relationship based business.
Yeah,
like,
it totally
it's not just like, here, buy a pizza, give me some cash, see you later. Thanks. But like we genuinely want to see lives transformed.
Yes.
Right. And so we have to have that persona of like, we just love people. We want the best for everyone.
Yeah.
The more people that we impact positively, the greater the network of people is, the greater the world is. Like, I mean, if you just take where the world is at now, baseline, and then every single person that we can help fulfill and raise into their truest self, like, I really feel like we're impacting the world.
I
Like,
know. It's so
even
cool.
if it's on a small scale, or hopefully eventually on a large scale, that would be fantastic. And it excites me.
I
And
know. It does me too. It's fun.
so that's kind of how I am changing it. Like, I'm just seeing what we're doing every day. I need to be doing something to progress this business,
Yeah.
and grow myself. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's, instead of comparing, I just like, it's now fun and exciting and challenging.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And it's something new that we're kind of embarking on doing it this way too. So it is really exciting and neat, and really helps shift those thoughts for us.
So can you get rid of it? Is that even possible? I don't know. I think you can definitely learn to cope with it, or I don't know, cope's the right word, but like, just not spend so much time in there. Like, it just not be so affected by it.
Exactly.
Yeah. It might always be that tendency, that human nature tendency to compare yourselves to others. You know, like, I might get into a new situation or meet someone else, and like, wow, for some reason, like, I just fell right into that trap of comparison.
Yep. And sometimes we don't even know it until we look back and it's like, whoa. I totally fell in there.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah.
So it's
not cool, but yeah, that's a real thing.
yeah, it's a real thing. Exactly. So just kind of, and I think too, just like you said, just having that awareness, just taking that judgment away, and then just being present with yourself, of just knowing what just happened to you or what's happening to you, and being able to like figure out how to work through that.
No, I absolutely think people, like, if you deal with this comparison, it can get better.
Agree.
There are tips, tricks, methods. I don't want to say even tricks, just there are ways to do things and shape your thinking on, to not get caught up in it, to not be affected by it, to just, and not get so wrapped up in your own bubble that you can't see people. That's not what it's about, but it's just to take that negative attention that you're giving and do positive attention. Like, love the attributes that others have, and then notice the good stuff that you have. Like, I think that's
a really great point.
We get so caught up in like our negative stuff, their positive stuff, that we don't even judge ourselves versus the same way we judge others. Like, at least judge yourself in that positive light. Like, man, they're so good at this. Like, okay, well, what are you so good at?
Exactly. Yeah. So true.
Like, we don't even give ourselves a benefit and, a positive, a shot.
Recognition. Yeah. Yes.
So
that's true. That's a great way to.
Yeah. I think that's really good. I kind of want to just probably end it there. I don't know. Is there anything that you got that really sticks out to you, or do you want to do a little summary?
No, I don't think so. Nothing else really like sticks out to me. I feel like we did cover a lot, and yeah, and like we always say too, like, encourage people to reach out to us if there's anything that's on
please
your mind.
Reach out.
It's
not just like we definitely want to hear from you, and we like the engagement with you guys. So just reach out. Like, we want to hear from you. If you're dealing with comparison and want some help, if you would like to work with a coach, if you're interested in coaching, we do offer free complimentary sessions, just a trial session, just to kind of see if we're a good fit. Like, are we the pizza place you like, kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
If you're interested in coaching, give us a shot. Like, we would love to have that opportunity to work with you. We would love that opportunity to help you step into your fullness and the purpose that's laid out for you. I'm 100% believer that we all are created with a purpose, and the world will benefit from you experiencing that. So,
I agree. And I think too, just to not be, it is something that is scary, I think, to reach out to somebody for help, or just acknowledging it. Cause like we said, it's put you in that really vulnerable spot, but we've been there too, and we've had to step out and do it. Like we said, we have a coach, and we have some coaches, and so it's just.
I would not turn back.
No, I would not turn back.
Life has benefited so much from that moment. Like, I mean, you can just see like that's the snowball effect. I mean, it's hard to get it rolling, but once you get it going and it starts picking up speed, yeah, look out. Life gets good.
Exactly. Agreed.
Not easy, but good.
Yep.
I mean, you're challenged, but I mean, you enjoy it. It's really fun. So, yeah, please do. If you got any questions, hit us up. We look forward to that. We definitely look forward to checking our inbox every week and seeing the engagement on social media and everything. So that it's just a lot of fun. So we definitely get back to every single person that reaches out to us.
Yes.
And then, so the coaching aside, for the podcast now, it does do a world of difference with all the engagement. So subscribe, share it, social media with your friends, family, whatever. It just helps us grow what we're doing here and get our message out. So we appreciate that, and thank you guys for doing that. It really does mean a lot. If you got any ideas or any things that you want to hear about, any topics, drop us a line. We'd love to give those some thought and kind of see where those go. So
that'd be awesome. Well, everybody, we hope you have a great, blessed rest of this week.
Yeah, and again, happy birthday, Mom. We love you.
Yes, we love you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.